Finding problems, that's easy. They exist in every community. I'm Terry Springs, your host. We're looking deeper, and we are talking solutions, finding out how we all can make a difference. Are you an animal lover? I am big time. Introduce us to your charity, if you would please, Sheryl Greenblatt.
Hearts Alive Village, and we added the Las Vegas onto the end of it because we are hoping to eventually spread throughout the country and teach other rescue groups throughout the country how to do what we are doing right now.
Designs on expanding.
Oh, yes.
Now, wait a minute. I want to say that you started out late May or late June.
We've been around for about a year and a half at this point. The official 501c3 came through in September of 2014. Since then, we have exploded, and our founder, Christy Stevens, her motto is jump and grow wings on the way down.
I like that very much. What was the event that I was seeing on Facebook that happened a number of weeks back? Was it the grand opening of the Hearts Alive store?
Yes, we actually just had our grand opening and adoption event, and that was for the adoption center and pet supply store. So this is our first brick and mortar, which was extremely exciting for us.
Sheryl Greenblatt is with us, and it's Hearts Alive Village. Can you describe exactly what you guys do?
Hearts Alive Village is an animal rescue, but our first goal is always to keep pets in their original homes whenever possible.
So if somebody needs the help, for instance, they end up out of work and they've got animals in their home that they love, but they go, well, we got to get rid of something. And so we're going to have to, sadly, let our animals go to other homes.
Yes. Unfortunately, when people surrender their animal, sometimes it's the worst day of their life. They're not doing it because they want to get rid of them. They just don't see any other options. But we've got a number of owner support programs. And the first one, which is actually the very first program that we started out with, is Kendall's Cupboard. And that's a pet food pantry that serves low-income individuals. We work with other organizations to vet who needs the assistance. And we even hand out pet food to the homeless at this point.
It's a lot of times when you see someone who is homeless, they've got that animal that is the biggest thing in their life right there.
Yep. And a lot of times they'll feed that animal before they'll feed themselves.
That happens in a lot of cases. It really does. So by providing food to low income or in some cases homeless individuals, you're able to keep those animals with the people that love them most.
Yes.
That's a great idea.
Yep. To just try and keep rehoming animals. A, you're losing out on those wonderful families that do want to keep them. And B, there's just too many animals for Las Vegas.
If we can keep the ones who are currently with a home in that home with those people that care for them, then we can go on about the process of adopting out and finding homes for the pets that still need a place.
Exactly.
We all know as animal lovers that we have had a huge problem in this town with overpopulation of pets. And even the Animal Foundation, which operates the lead shelter for the county, even they say our goal is to get to the point where we don't have to put as many animals down. It breaks our hearts to think that animals don't get out of those cages. We have to work together to make this happen.
Absolutely. We love partnering with other agencies, with any other rescue groups, and there are tons of fabulous groups in this town. We have already worked with Incredible, which is a great organization that focuses on pit bull awareness and education. We're working with Animal Foundation, anything that we can do to help. And our main source is Henderson Animal Shelter. There aren't a lot of groups that pull from that shelter. So we have a wonderful volunteer that goes in there and actually just received an award for turning the shelter around. Her name is Melissa Trasati. And we have been able to save so many lives. These dogs and cats, one was actually pulled from the euthanization room.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, that's
good work, Melissa. Yes. We love hearing that. Henderson Animal Shelter is one of the ones that I see a lot on my Facebook. I think that they really do their best to try to find homes, and they extend out the period of time when that animal is still in the shelter waiting to go to a forever home.
Yes.
I always love seeing that on Facebook, but when you really celebrate is when they find that individual that says, yes, this is my new forever friend, and takes them safely home. We're talking with Sheryl Greenblatt with Hearts Alive Village. You are an animal rescue group.
Yes.
You help with adoptions. You help low-income and sometimes homeless people as far as pet food. I know there's a lot more to it, though. Tell us how Hearts Alive Village actually got started.
This is my favorite story to tell. Kendall is Christy Stevens' daughter. Christy's the founder. She was given an assignment when she was about 10 and a half years old, asking if you had one wish, what would that be? She wrote this beautiful, beautiful journal entry, which is actually up in our adoption center, about how she would open an animal rescue sanctuary that would have everything from from dogs and cats to goats and pigs, and she would name it Hearts Alive Village. At the end of the year, Christy was allowed to see that journal, and she asked Kendall, is this something that you really, really want to do? She said yes, but I know it's too hard. And Christy's mother heart just absolutely broke, and she decided she couldn't have her daughter thinking that dreams were too difficult. And a year and a half, 2 years later, Hearts Alive Village is here, and we're short a couple of pigs and goats, but we'll get there.
No doubt. I really have to relate to that story, Sheryl, because when I was a kid in school, grade school, I had told my mom back home in Kansas, the thing that I wanted most when I grew up was a big farm, so it'd be a place for all of the homeless animals to come and live. Haven't quite gotten there. I've got my own little mini version down in Mountains Edge.
You can come join us once we get ours. No problem.
Told you I'd love to work with any kind of group. It is Hearts Alive Village. It's animal rescue, adoption, providing pet food to help keep animals in the home where people already love them but maybe can't afford it. How do you afford this is my question.
We are entirely funded by donations from the community. We have a bunch of absolutely amazing volunteers and donors and some small businesses that have backed us from the beginning. It amazes me. Every once in a while in animal rescue, you kind of lose your faith in humanity, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, you hear some stories that are really very sad.
But the people that we've had the opportunity to work with have been amazing. Even just the day of the adoption center opening, the grand opening, people were walking in and just handing us $100 bills. It was heartwarming, but we're always looking for donations. And one of the points of the pet store is to eventually be self-sustaining, because chasing funds is not...
It's difficult.
Yeah.
It's never ending. I know what it's like. I'm on the board for that cat charity for Poppy Foundation, and the need for money to support the animals and to support the mission never ends.
Correct. Yep.
Tell us about the pet store. I want to know all about this because it has a purpose.
We love it. It is the happiest place on earth. Forget Disneyland. We designed this to be a place that you want to come into. Many people that volunteer or want to volunteer, they walk into a shelter and it's a place with no hope most of the time. It's sad, it's cramped, the animals look miserable, and we had the opportunity to just create this wonderful environment. Part of it is the cat cottage. We've got 10 cats living in there, coexisting happily. They have cat trees, they have shelves, they have a couch, anything a cat could possibly want, and places to hide and get away. They live there. And then we've got our canine cabanas, our nice spacious kennels, and the dogs really just come there during the day. At night, they go home to foster homes. We've had to keep a couple in the adoption center overnight just because it's better than boarding. But for the most part, they go home, they get their love, they get cuddles, they get to sleep in a bed, and then they just come in and meet people during the day. And the pet store, our goal is to make it affordable for people. Thanks to Nutrisource, they donated our first order of food. They donated over $4,000 worth of product to us.
That's huge.
Oh my goodness. They have done so much for us, and we have Kendall's cupboard really because of them.
Wow. You're telling me, too, that Hearts Alive Village, the animal rescue, that you find a lot of these animals that you have available for adoption from places like the Henderson Animal Shelter.
Yes.
I'm sure there are other sources of animals that come to you also with the same needs to find a forever home.
We have a lot of owner surrenders. Unfortunately, there's never a shortage of available animals that need homes. For example, this has a happy ending, I promise. We had a friend call us and say that clients of hers had these two 16-year-old poodles, mini poodles, that were therapy dogs their entire life with their father. Their father got cancer, and his wife decided she didn't want to take care of the dogs anymore. She told this woman, "You have 2 hours to get them out of my house or they're going to lead."
Oh.
Which, unfortunately, a 16-year-old dog, there's no way.
No, and 2 of them.
Yeah, they're not making it out of there. She contacted Hearts Alive, and Christy ended up going and picking up these dogs, and one of them, unfortunately, did not make it. He passed, but the other one just got in the car today to head to Colorado. He is being adopted by a woman who takes in senior animals and brings them to hospice.
That's
she volunteers,
wonderful.
So he gets to do what he was meant to do, what he's always done.
Oh, that is such a great story. And yeah, one of them didn't make it, but it was just because he had reached the end of his life cycle. We all know that animals don't live as long as people, at least in most cases. There are other situations, however, where pets sometimes do outlast their owners. And once again, they're in a situation where they did nothing wrong, but they need someone to care for them, to take them in. So that's also the kind of animal that you might run across as part of Hearts Alive Village.
Yes. Yeah, we have, especially with cats, for some reason, people think it's okay that when their parents pass away, they come in and open the door and they let cats just roam freely. Domesticated cats are not meant to live on the streets anymore.
No, and one thing that I might remind everyone who's listening to Talking Solutions this morning, in studio with us, Sheryl Greenblatt from Hearts Alive Village. Just want to remind everybody, in Clark County, if something happens to you and you have no written instructions as far as where your pets are supposed to go, they're heading to lead. Even if your family or your next door neighbor goes, oh, no, we always talked, I'm going to take them. If it's not in writing, you don't have anything to stand behind. It's important to think about when you're making those plans, making sure that everything is covered and you care about your animals. Not a difficult thing to do, but something that you must do if you want to have them protected. I hate to think about things like that, but I do love my animals.
Yes.
So where is this store where I can go buy pet food and it will help your cause?
The pet store is located at 1750 South Rainbow Boulevard. It's about 1 block south of Charleston. We're in the Wiener Schnitzel parking lot.
Sure. Everybody knows where that is. So that would actually be on the east side of the street.
Yes. Had to think about that, but yes.
You guys are open and you have a kitty cottage with like 10 different cats.
Oh, yes.
And you have the place for the dogs, which is called?
That's the Canine Cabanas. we have kind of an outdoor theme going. There's trees in there, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful place. We have a cuddle room also, which is available for volunteers to go and just spend some time with the animals. Or if you're doing a meet and greet, say you want to introduce a new animal to your existing pet, you can go in, just hang out on some couches and make sure everybody gets along.
Well, the cat charity that I'm on the board for, we do have volunteers coming in to do nothing but pet cats.
Oh, yeah.
And cuddle kitties and get the toys out, play, make them run, have a good time. And they also do things like scoop litter boxes.
Yes.
Feed cats. There's a lot of things that volunteers can do to help. You looking for volunteers also?
We are always looking for volunteers. We have the same thing. We have wonderful people that come in and just socialize with the animals, because the more interaction they get with humans, the better a chance they're going to have of being adopted.
We're talking with Sheryl Greenblatt from Hearts Alive Village. When we were talking about the dogs there, you said most of the dogs actually aren't staying there at night because they're going to their foster families, which I think everybody should know. It's an important part of the process because sometimes you need those foster families or foster individuals to help groom that animal so that when they get a chance at adoption, they are socialized, they know how to behave.
Yes.
It helps make their adoption rate just shoot.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Dogs go a little crazy in cages and kennels. And understandably, I mean, if you were stuck, even if they're being taken out for walks and things like that, if you were stuck in a tiny little cell, you wouldn't be having the best mental state either. And these dogs that get to go home and experience family life and maybe interact with other pets in the home and have children that are, tugging gently on their ears and their tail and chasing them around, they get used to it. And it's just a good experience for them, and it makes them a lot healthier and happier.
Well, you need that contact. You need that socialization, as I mentioned. So important. A friend of mine here in town a few years ago, she now lives elsewhere. She adopted a little Chihuahua from Lead because she had learned that that dog was not going to make it just because the dog was so scared.
Yes.
And because the dog was so frightened, they were saying, well, obviously unadoptable.
Right.
She took the dog. The dog is thriving in San Francisco, running on the beach near the ocean. Yeah, it's another happy ending story like we were just talking about. It's just been a few weeks since you had the big, was it the grand opening of the store?
Yes.
This is what I saw on Facebook. You guys are all over the place. In fact, if you get a chance, you should Google Hearts Alive Village. Sheryl says they're adding Las Vegas to the end of it too because you have designs of taking this elsewhere as far as expanding your mission.
Yes.
All of this from one girl's wish.
Yes, from a child's wish, and some amazing, amazing volunteers and an inspirational founder.
That is neat. What are the hours for the pet store?
We're open 7 days a week, and it's 10 to 5.
It's on Rainbow, about a block south of Charleston, over there near the Wiener Schnitzel on the east side of the street. Hearts Alive Village. I buy pet food all the time. So I come over and I buy the pet food, and it helps out.
It is the best thing you can do. We don't have to charge sales tax because we are a 501c3, and all of the proceeds, since we are a volunteer organization, all of the proceeds go right back into the programs.
Wait a minute. You don't have to charge sales tax, so I'm already saving over 8% on whatever I pay for the food.
Yes. Yeah.
That's big. I should have mentioned that earlier.
Right? Even if you didn't want to do something nice, which I hope everyone does, it still benefits you in the end.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right. Hearts Alive Village, 501c3 charity, animal rescue, animal adoption. It's helping out people who have issues with having the money to even feed their pets, whether they be low income or homeless. You have fostering. Are you looking for additional fosters?
Always. Fosters are really the bedrock of our organization since we don't want to keep our dogs sheltered at the adoption center. So the more fosters we get, the more animals we can save.
If the cats have enough room, they probably don't care.
They don't care at all. They like having volunteers come in, and then they like having volunteers leave.
Yeah. Come in, brush me, pet me, play with me with a toy. Oh, I'll take some treats. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm a cat person. I know how that works. I'm not even going to tell you how many I have at home. Shh.
3. Everyone has 3.
Yeah. County ordinance. Shh. I have 3. It's not that much worse than 3, really. We won't go there. Hearts Alive Village. Google it. I know I follow you guys on Facebook. How is the reaction as far as this community for Hearts Alive Village?
It's been amazing. I can't say how many wonderful volunteers we have. Just the outpouring of support is amazing. The amount of people that we had come to the grand opening. We had a packed house for 4 hours.
And it was hot that weekend, if I recall.
It was brutal. But people just came out in droves to support us. The volunteers, we call them our villagers. They're the reason we exist. Nobody can do this by themselves, and they're just wonderful. So a huge thank you to everybody that's given of their time and energy and money.
I remind everybody who is a pet lover who's hearing us today on Talking Solutions with Sheryl Greenblatt from Hearts Alive Village. If we're going to solve the pet problem, which seriously, we are making an impact. We are moving in a positive direction, but we're not there yet. And I believe that if we don't work together, this is not going to happen. But it can be done.
Absolutely.
Since you guys are a 501c3, you're a volunteer type organization. One of the things that we say when we start the show every week is that we all can make a difference. That's what Talking Solutions is all about, which is why I had to invite you in here to talk about Hearts Alive Village. Sheryl, what do you have lined up for us to step up and do besides come buy pet food for no tax? I love that idea.
We have a Paw It Forward program, and that's actually how I got involved with the organization. I'm trying to extend it past an annual event and move it to something that people can do every day. You know how they have those, I think Make-A-Wish has sneakers or balloons or something like that that you can purchase at the register? We made paws. So when you go into a store, and we're currently looking for businesses that would be willing to sell these paws for us.
And partner with you.
Yes. When you go into these businesses, you can pay $1 and write your name on a paw. And again, volunteer organization, so that goes directly to our programs.
You need to let me know where the paws are available.
I will.
I'm going to be writing my name on a paw to give a donation to Hearts Alive Village. I would so do that.
That's our next area to tackle. We always need supplies in the adoption center. That's been one of the coolest things is people will just walk in and they're carrying a big batch of paper towels. And they're, oh, we just saw you on Facebook. We saw that you needed supplies, so we came in. It just boggles my mind every time. It's amazing. We do have a wish list on our website of things that we need. It's www.havlv.com.
Hearts Alive Village, LasVegas.com.
You got it.
HAVLV.com. HAVLV.com. I got it. So you've got your list of things that you would love to have donated that you could make good use of.
Yes, absolutely.
What other things can we do?
We also have sponsorships available for the store. We've got boards and the ability to wrap windows and doors and all different things with your company's logo and information. We do that as a sponsorship opportunity. So there's different levels and it'll stay up for different periods of time. That's a great way to donate and kind of get your name out there. We always need volunteers, both in the store and out at events, adoption events, and any kind of time that we go into the community and talk to people. We need people to help us out with that because our core of Hearts Alive is really just 4 of us.
Yeah, and you work 7 days a week anyway, and
Can't exactly be everywhere at once. So we need more people to come in. And just joining us at our events, the most important thing, sharing our things on Facebook. On Mondays, I do an adoptable dog of the week. I set it up as a flyer so that all people people have to do is, one click, and that goes out to however many people you have in your social network. That's how we get dogs and cats adopted, is just getting them in front of more and more people every day. Eventually, somebody falls in love.
It's that picture that touches your heart, and you go, oh, look at that cat. Look at that dog. Online, Hearts Alive Village has a very nice presence. I know you're there through Facebook. Mm-hmm. You have your website. Other things we can do to help. Fostering?
Always. Please, if you have room in your home and your heart, we provide the food. So don't think that fostering is an expensive thing to get into. If there's any medical issues, any food that they need, any supplies, we provide all of that. You provide the love and the shelter. That's it.
Fostering is so important. A precursor to getting that animal adopted into the proper home.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So you got a lot of events going on. Is there anything that I'm missing?
There's actually a couple of things. A huge part of what we do is the humane education aspect, because we do realize that the way to change animal welfare in the future is by teaching children now. We go into schools, into youth groups, anywhere that people will let us speak to children. We will go and teach them safety and responsibility, and most importantly, empathy, because a lot of children, unfortunately, are not learning that in their homes. They've got a dog that lives outside 24/7, and that's just what animals are to them. They don't have that upbringing explaining and teaching them that pets are family members and creatures that have emotions and need to be loved. We do a lot of the humane education and working with children just to teach them from an early age.
Great idea, because changing the attitudes of children will help end the idea that pets are disposable.
Exactly.
That they don't matter. They do. They're a huge part of our lives. Mm-hmm. They're family members. At least we want them to be.
Absolutely.
There's a bunch that still need families, yes, though, which is why you're here, and that's why Hearts Alive Village, Las Vegas, is created and established, and why you exist.
Mm-hmm. And not the last program, but one of the other programs we have is called The Village. That is a residential home that is run by a domestic abuse survivor. And when Christy set out to start this organization, she realized that animals don't exist by themselves, obviously. There's such an interaction between people and animals, therapeutic for both of them. We had already been working with Shade Tree with Noah's Animal House.
Mm-hmm. Well familiar.
And she called up the people at Shade Tree and she said, I need somebody to run a program for me. They told her about Patty, who had finished up her program there and was living on the street for 2 nights. She had taken up residence on a park bench right outside of the police station because she felt that that was the safest area.
Not that any of us ever want to have to do that, but I can understand that thinking.
Christy was able to locate her, and she went, swooped her up off the street, and for a little bit over a year now, she has been our partner and a foster mom to cats and one dog, Roxy. We call her the bouncer at the cat house. She's been just rehabilitating the cats, and they've been rehabilitating her.
The interaction between animals and people is so touching. To me, it's an essential part of life. You're an animal lover, too. Tad bit?
Just a tad.
When did you get involved? How deep are you with Hearts Alive Village?
I love it. I live and breathe Hearts Alive Village at this point. About a year ago, our executive director, Kelly McMahon, and a good friend of mine for years, lost her service dog, Pele, to cancer. And Pele was one of those dogs that the instant you met him, everything in life got better. Your heart melted and you just wanted to do everything for this dog. And he was pretty special aside from being a service dog. He was able to rehabilitate abused animals. And he was even the I Read to Animals poster dog, if you will, for Best Friends Animal Sanctuary. And when he passed away,
I know you still miss him down the road.
I get choked up. I do.
Know. There are more animals that need our help, but the ones that we've lost still have that place in our hearts.
Absolutely. And I just wanted to do something to honor him and to show what he meant to me. And I was preparing for a high-performance leadership project for Toastmasters. I decided to do it in his honor, and that's where Paw It Forward came into being. It was an amazing day. We had over 200 people there. It was just a fun day for people and for their dogs, and we raised over $5,000 for Hearts Alive.
Nice.
In its infancy. So that was a huge help. Even that day, I had people coming up to me, when's next year's? So apparently this is an annual thing now.
I'm thinking that you're probably on the hook for that. You're going to need to do that again and again and again. And as long as it keeps working, it'll carry on.
This year's is planned for November 15th, which is even more special because that's Kelly's birthday.
You got a lot going on with Hearts Alive Village, Las Vegas. And you've been around for a year and a half or so?
Yeah, a year and a half, maybe 2 years from the very beginning of the programs. But since September, it's been official.
But that pet food store.
Yes.
On Rainbow, about a block south south of Charleston in that same shopping center with Wiener Schnitzel on the east side of the road. When you told me that I could go buy my pet food there for no sales tax, first of all, that's a big darn deal.
Yep.
But also, the money goes to your charity. I think that's a good way to take and have a charity and be able to fund it.
Exactly.
So the goal is at some point in time, the store would get big enough and popular and busy enough to where it could take care of Hearts Alive Village.
Yes, absolutely. And then we open another store with another adoption center, and we're one step closer to pigs and goats.
Okay. I can't wait to see it. Hearts Alive Village. Find them on Facebook. The website, havlv.com. Lots more on today's Talking Solutions. I'm Terry Springs. Coming up next, we've got author Mary Vale. She's got a book out called What's Your Philanthropic Footprint? Hang tight. She's next.